Tell me when it's on.
It's on.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Hey everybody, it's Mary Beth, and I am super excited because I have somebody special today that is going to be teaching us some cool things. So we are going to have a really fun episode. I'm going to just start a watch party here so everybody can watch this. All right. So I'm super excited because we have Eric Gillman, and you know how many times I've talked about knives and how I'm not very good at using knives? Well, I thought before, we end this pandemic, I might cut all my fingers off or stab myself. It might be good to learn how to use knives. So Eric Gillman is with Cutco Knives, and we are going to be chopping it up with the knife guy, and I'm going to pour myself a little mojito, and Philip is going to get Eric on the screen. So let's have fun. We're going to be doing a bunch of stuff, and Eric's going to walk us through the whole drill.
All right. Thank you, Mary Beth, and good evening. Hello. Thanks for having me. It's so fantastic to be here with you, and welcome to my kitchen. I'm Eric, also known as the knife guy in our industry, and everybody needs a good knife guy in their life. And I've been a representative with Cutco Cutlery for the last 13 years. And Mary Beth and I, Philip, we've known each other for about 5 years. Our team specializes in gifting, and what we specialize in is a brand of knives called Cutco. So if you haven't heard of them before, super high quality American-made cutlery, a good set of knives. Mary Beth, you joked about cutting your fingers off. Some people are scared of a super sharp knife in the kitchen. A good set of knives will save you a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of energy in the kitchen. And despite what you might think, it's a lot safer to have a much sharper knife than a dull knife around in the kitchen. And if you're going to have a sharp knife around and a sharp tool, which every good kitchen needs, Cutco is the best there is. So like I said, everything's made in America. Woo! Yeah. It's all backed by a forever guarantee. We make all different styles of knives. So happy to talk about, knives or gifts to anybody who would like to. Reach out for some more information. It's funny, we're talking about having our computers ready to go, and mine got a call via Zoom. So yeah, and I'm going to demonstrate how to best use some of those knives safely today. So whether you are using Cutco knives or not, I'm going to demonstrate some simple and effective ways that you can stay safe and stay healthy, most of all in the kitchen. We can talk about, how important health is if we will have some time together later. And so I'm really excited to be here with you today. And so we can kick it off, and I'll take it back to Mary Beth in a moment or two. Like our virtual lives right now, and hopefully we'll be together in a kitchen cooking soon to show you how this is done. But I'm going to be demonstrating some effective ways to use some of our most popular pieces. So a few of them that I have is the Santoku knife. So we'll start with this one, is everybody's favorite, is the chopping knife. So the Rockian chopping blade, and then, when I say everybody's favorite, of course, Mary Beth, we'll have to talk about this one as well. Your incredible spreader that's been featured in so many videos. And so, you said, we do engraving on those ones as well. This one really flexible and has a cutting edge on there, which you've so greatly demonstrated to do some slicing and dicing. We're going to show you how to use the Holy knife. This is the Holy knife, the non-stick knife or the cheese knife. And I'm going to show you a couple ways to effectively. A lot of people are afraid to use paring knives, the pair and the air knife. We're going to show you how to effectively use that bad boy. And we're not going to cut ourselves. Band-Aids are sold separately. So why don't we get started with the Santoku knife? First thing you're going to need is some fresh and delicious vegetables. So despite what, media might have you thinking about grocery stores, I've been at Sprouts lately, and everything is stocked and ready, and it takes just a few minutes to get in. So we can start with our friend, the cucumber. So cucumber, in fact, actually, let's start with celery so we can go over a couple of chopping technique basics. So Santoku knife. Santoku. It's a Japanese word, actually, that it stands for the shape of the knife. So people commonly ask me, and they call it a Sudoku, or a Sandoku, or a Sudoku, or a Sudoku, anything but Santoku. But it's a Santoku knife. And what that translates to, Santoku, is meat, fish, vegetables. The Japanese translation, and you can trust me, you can take my word from it. I'm a knife guy, I wouldn't lie to you, right? So Santoku, so this one's mine. It's got my name on it. It's from a award I won a while back. So yeah, I've been selling knives for a long time, and so I've been chopping for a long time. And Santoku knife has the signature of it as a curved blade. So it refers to that drop point tip right here. So the drop in the knife, and then this curvature on the bottom. So you can have different knives that are Santoku knives. So this is a 7-inch Santoku knife. And then speaking of other ones, this one is also considered a Santoku knife because it has that drop point and that rounded belly on the bottom there. So all different styles. In fact, let me grab one thing. I apologize for not having this on, man. I should have. One thing that every good kitchen needs is a good pair of scissors. So ours come apart. They're easy to clean. And then I figured I could show these first. They come in different colors. Now these are a special brand of purple ones. Special edition. They typically come in the white, the black, or, as Mary Beth, you love so much, the purple handle. And, or excuse me, the red handle. Red, of course, your favorite. So they come apart for easy cleaning. So a good pair of scissors in the kitchen saves you a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of energy. And they cut through just about anything. So if you have like a piece of like hard plastic packaging or like cardboard or anything like that, they'll get right through it. So here's a penny right here, a United States penny. I know we should not be wasting money in today's economy, but you know, it grabs onto stuff as well as has these little teeth in there for gripping. And so, but like I said, you can use it for cutting just about anything. So like chicken bones or broccoli or hard plastic packaging, like I mentioned, cauliflower. You can use it for like, if you have a nice bottle of wine one night and you can't find your corkscrew, you can just make one out of your penny right there. So it cuts anything. You can poke it right out. But I've had this pair now. This is my kitchen scissors. I've had them for, 4 or 5 years. I've cut a bunch of different stuff with it. They're just as sharp and just as powerful as the day that I got them. Here, Mary Beth, here's a flower for you. You can make a flower out of your pennies. Maybe you can plant a money tree. Maybe planting a money tree will grow.
I love that. That is awesome.
So yeah, let's get to chopping now. Mary Beth, how are you doing over there? You with me?
I'm here. I'm ready to roll.
Alright, so Santoku knife, number 1. This bad boy right here. When you're using it, the reason it's got that curve on the bottom is it's called a rock knife, rock and roll knife, right? That curvature makes it so the blade can rock up and down on the cutting board, and it kind of makes everybody feel like a pro chef. A Cutco knife also has what's called a high knuckle clearance. You notice that my knuckles don't hit the cutting board or the countertop when you're rocking up and down on the cutting board.
That's cool.
You can also, because of the curve of the blade, as I'll show you with the celery, use that front edge to bury the tip in a way that a normal knife like this one, a regular traditional, this is Cutco's French chef knife, you can't really get that. You're going to hit the blade a lot more on the cutting board if you try and get that up on it. So that's what really the main difference is between a Santoku and a normal chef knife. So this one, you can just drag the tip, and you notice how the blade is not coming in contact with the cutting board. Because another thing to know about knives is what dulls knives is not actually food. It's not celery and onions and carrots and stuff. It's cutting boards, countertops, and other hard surfaces. So I encourage you to use softer cutting boards, like a Cutco cutting board. Wood, polypropylene, urethane cutting boards are better, not glass or granite or anything like that. So let's chop it up, all right? So get your vegetables here. First of all, clean your vegetables. So very important thing. I'm going to just tilt the camera down just a little bit there so you can see and follow along as we go. And I'm going to do Operation Don't Cut My Thumb Off. So make sure that you keep your eyes on the blades first of all. Speaking of which, finger placement. Let's talk about fingers. So when you're holding a knife, a Cutco knife is made so it's designed so you can link your thumb and your forefinger into place in the handle. So it's called a universal wedge lock handle. So it grabs any knife, you can grab at the tip there, or you can grab traditionally a little bit higher on the blade if you want. It's wherever's most comfortable for you. And so grab your blade, and with something like a celery, which is, we're going to start with something basic. So basic things you'll need if you want to pause the video and grab them is celery, cucumber, we're going to cut up a bell pepper. I'm going to show you, I'm going to just demonstrate the non-stick knife on a couple of sweet potatoes. I'm going to grab a sip of water here. Delicious. Odd shape, some kiwis and some mangoes, and a sweet potato with some thyme. We'll get to the pepper in a second and the cucumber. But for your piece of celery right here, grab that Sentoker knife, and the first thing just to get used to is gliding it backwards. But again, finger placement, so grabbing it with one hand. Your other hand, whenever you're grabbing fruit or vegetables, is your tip should always be inside of the knuckle. So at any time, there should always be one knuckle in front of it. As we actually hold the knife and get closer, which I'll bring the camera closer for, you're going to want to curve your fingers in like that. And so people are never actually chopping super close to the finger. You don't want to be holding it like this and pushing it, but instead have your finger out there so you'll have a higher clearance with your knuckle and you can feed food into it that way, as opposed to having your finger out. So no fingers out. So cut the food, not the fingers. Remember that, all right? Cut the food, not the finger. So number one thing we can start to do with the Sentoker knife is you can glide. So holding it relatively close to where you're going to be cutting it through, with your fingertip back inside, just glide back through there. So food, press down with pressure on the cutting board, and then just slide it straight back. And just get used to that glide motion coming through. And then to do it a little bit more advanced, right? So let's talk about like how to actually chop. So that glide motion comes into use when you want to prep a vegetable like this one. So you got this piece of celery right here, and it's quick to just simply, on one end like I did, cut it off with the glide, and then the other end, and then boom. And then if I want to, what I want to do is julienne this, which is a type of slicing. So I'm not going to get all fancy on you, which in terms of the different cuts, but I do know julienne is a cut where you slice it down the middle. Mary Beth, you can correct me if I'm wrong on that. I'm going to take it back to you to see how you're doing with your celery in just a second. Yeah, this one, julienne is when you cut it down the middle. So celery, so that's where that drag cut comes into place. And to do that, you're simply going to place your hand on the outside and put the pressure down and together. So you put it down and together, so that way it doesn't come out, and you can pull the knife back and glide it through, hopefully, and it won't go left or right on you. And then if you really, again, practice it, you got a big enough piece of celery, you can do it 2 times if you do want a really thin piece of celery. And then what you end up here with is 4. So 1 piece of celery turns into 4, and then you can, from there, you can chop them up figure 8 style. So what I mean by figure 8 style is it will rock on the cutting board. So I'm going to demonstrate down here, and then I'll bring the knife up close so you can see it, which a figure 8, so as you hold the knife down, so a common thing that people, misconception or a mistake that I see when people are cutting is taking a knife like this, a chef knife specifically, and using primarily the front end to cut with. You want to use the back end to get the most leverage of the blade on there.
That makes sense.
And the reason for that is because it gives you the most weight. So that's why a chef knife is designed that way, is to push down on the back. So people use the front end of the blade. I don't know if you're cooking in your kitchen with music, but can you hear it? Perfect. So with this one, use that back third of the blade as opposed to the front half of the blade right there. And that figure 8 motion, that rock up and down on the cutting board. And what they're going to do don't drop your blade, watch out now, is use the back third of the blade, and it's a down, forward, straight through, and up and over. And I'm going to show you what I mean in just a second, then we'll speed it up. But it's really simple. Remember this, when it comes to chopping in your kitchen, it's really simple to get this motion down, and once you do, all you're doing is frankly getting better at it, speeding it up. And so you can chop too, it's really easy. Again, a great tool, like a great knife, is going to make it faster and easier. But yeah, so that figure 8 motion is holding it straight down, and from that forward motion here, just to give you the up close view, and we'll chop with it, is coming down. And then when I say figure 8, I mean as you're bringing the blade up, you're slightly over to the left or right, depending on if you're righty or lefty, and then down again. And then in an exaggerated view of that, it would be down, up, over, and then back down. But that's exaggerated view of it, correct? Right? So as you're going through it, and something smaller like a vegetable like this is down, up, over, down, up, over, down. Slight movement left. Or you can be moving the vegetable simultaneously in. So as you're going through, you're holding, say, a piece of celery, or as I'll show you with all the different ones, the bell pepper or piece of cucumber is just down, up, over, down, up, over, small figure 8 motion. And then it's just a matter of speeding it up. And then before you know it, you're mincing and dicing in no time. So again, I'll go over it with you. It's that same motion. So it's down, straight down, using the back third of the blade. Remember, not the front part. You're not using this part. We're not chopping.
You can show me.
Not going to be chopping with the front part of the blade. We're using that back third of the blade right there. Back third. Down, over. Obviously, you're going to hold your vegetables. I'm just throwing it a little bit straight up right there. Up, over, down. Up, over, down. Up, right. So, Mary Beth, how are we doing over there?
Okay. I think it's the first time I've ever successfully had good
Does
luck.
that make sense, the figure 8 motion?
Yeah. Yep. And I'm kind of scooting it, and I've got my fingers hidden.
Good.
I think I've got it. Look at woohoo! I've been dicing a lot while you've been chopping.
Nice.
Cool.
So yeah, you can also, I don't know if you noticed, pick up your all your veggies and stuff, scoop them on there. You know that, obviously. Little tip. That way, you're looking for a nice wide blade to do that with. So, ready to move on to another one?
Let's do it.
Cool. Red bell pepper. Thanks, my fiery, amazing co-host right now. You are the red bell pepper of our lives. And I mean that in the most amazing way. You're sweet, you are tangy, you're versatile, delicious, and you go well anywhere, Mary Beth. So our little red bell pepper here. I love bell pepper. I ate bell pepper twice today already. And I use it with eggs, scramble in the morning. You can fry them up really easily, not fry them, but saute them in the pan before you put some eggs in there. They go into a raw salad that I do. You can eat them just straight up raw, and that's what I'll be showing you today. It's just a simple preparation of a couple ways you can make a bell pepper into smaller pieces so you can put it into your mouth and make it delicious. So, Santoku knife again, let's stick to this one for the bell pepper, and then, we can maybe even change it up for the end of the cucumber. I can bring in our guest star, the vegetable knife. I don't think you have this one or seen this one, right? But this is our vegetable cleaver. Not to be mistaken for Cutco's regular cleaver, the bad boy knife. This thing, you can't see it. Look how thick that is. It's 2.2 pounds of steel. Everybody needs a bad boy in the kitchen, you know what I'm saying? This is the, you can call it what you will. But it's good for hunt, you can use this for like pulverizing meats, cutting up a whole chicken, Halloween costumes, scaring neighbors, disciplining small children, butchering small pieces of meat, whatever you got to do with it. Just kidding. But this is our cleaver heavy duty knife. This is our vegetable cleaver, which I'll show you as well. Cutco, again, if you need any information on it, happy to help. I'm 100% American made product, which I really think is important right now. And shout out to everyone who's out working, our service members who are out working right now tonight, and first responders, everybody who's keeping us healthy. But let's talk bell pepper, right? So I got the bell pepper here, and I'll show you my way to cut a bell pepper. I'm always curious to see other people's ways of cutting a bell pepper. I've just kind of developed over time to be the fastest and most effective way to cut out you don't want to eat that little bottom part right there. I call it the butt. You can call it whatever you want. It's a little black dot on the bottom. All bell peppers have them. Do you know the difference, Mary Beth? And you can tell me in a minute. Do you know how to tell the difference between a male and a female bell pepper, right? It's, I'll let you fill us in if you remember. So it's, I'm going to cut this bad boy up right here to the bottom one. Everything's all washed and clean already. So with a bell pepper, you're going to cut it 4 different ways. I like to hold it at the top. You need a super sharp knife and just start and quarter it effectively. So it comes straight down the side, cutting in towards the middle, and then the other side in towards the middle, and I'm going to end up with like 4 sides. Then I'm going to be able to slice and dice further down. So just straight down. So that little slice right there. So again, I'm just showing you to go. Rotate to the side, and you can be just holding it up at the top. If your knife is sharp enough, it should just stay there. Down. And then that way, you've minimized the amount of bell pepper that you're wasting. You can either take a bite off the top or, slice that part there. For today, we're just going to toss that. And then, so what you're looking at here is 4 pieces of bell pepper. This one we'll chop all the way down. We'll leave one piece aside. But if you do want to get them really minced, I like to stack them up. First thing you can do is practice that julienne slice. So flat piece right there. Front end of the cutting, down buried. Remember, knife buried on the cutting board, not just using that back third. And that's where that glide motion can come in. So you can glide backwards to your bell peppers. Then, boom, slice. So if you just want to slice like that, that's a perfect snack. Look, we're ready to eat. You got your hummus, ready to go. Another hot tip, you can just dip stuff in salsa, or you can put your salsa in your hummus. That's delicious as well. So bell pepper slice. And then from there, let's put those aside for just a second. And slice another one. So straight back. And then from there, the way we're going to chop these up into minced bell peppers, if you want to go one step further down, is rotate them the other way. So it's like a side-by-side, multiplier motion, obviously, and we're going to practice that rocking motion now. So remember, using primarily the back third of the blade. With your left hand, you want to apply pressure on whatever you're cutting. Because the more loose you are, the more uncertain you are, it's not going to be good. So apply pressure with your hand. Remember, fingers are back. So the way you can apply pressure with your fingers back is just straight like that. But you're never going to get it too close until the very end. And that's an advanced, just practice that and get better at it. But for the most part, you have the whole vegetable to hold while you're chopping. You should never be getting too close to your finger along the way. Until you get to the very end, in which place you just slow down, it should just be nice and slow. So rotate them the other way, and then just rock up and down the cutting board. A nice and rock motion. And my fingers are about a ½ inch away from the knife at all times. And I'm slowly moving them back, and you can do it as fine or as dense as you want. So for a salad, you can mix it up really, really like quarter cuts, and just practice that in the kitchen is doing them, small pieces. Or if you're going to be sauteing them in a pan, you can practice with bigger cuts, depending on whatever it is that you are going to be doing. And speaking of into like a salad, which is something I commonly do, slice them into strips, something you can do to save time. You got these 4 sides, right? So when you do it, stack up the lowest, the skinniest side on the bottom, and then the pepper will naturally have kind of like a shape that has the biggest arch, so stack that one on top of that one, and then the last one there. So you got these strips right here. So you can make a little pile with the strips, and you can do a whole pepper at one time, and you want to line up the ends. You don't have to go like this. You just push it with your fingers together, and then just again applying a lot of pressure with the left hand. You can do all of them at one time, and then go slow. So remember, same thing: down, forward, over to the left. down, forward, over to the left, down, forward, over to the left, up, over, left, up, over, left, up, over, left. And then you just get down to the end, and you can kind of let go. And then once you have it on the cutting board, if you want to mince it up more, this is why they call it the rock and roll knife. You don't even have to have your hand on the cutting board. Because it's flat on the bottom, you can move the stuff around like this, and it rocks up and down on the cutting board. See? Just rock, 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 rock. So rock and roll knife. So that is the Santoku knife doing the bell pepper. Mary Beth, are you with me?
I am here. So, I've diced. I've got some dicing right here. First of all, I've never cut a bell pepper like that from a whole bell pepper. I've always...
How do you feel about that? Because I hear that often, and I think I came up with it myself. I don't know. How do you feel about my way?
It's so much easier because I usually have to get this stuff out. You know, the whole inside seed thing, and it falls all over the place. There's not one seed. There wasn't one seed on my tray, on my cutting board. So I've got them julienned. This is one pepper. It looks so plentiful. And here it is diced.
Yeah. The thing with the seeds, that's why it's very nice to avoid cutting around those. That's the main primary key there, is not making that mess. So you just hold that thing up. And again, make sure you have a sharp enough knife, but to hold it up with. And so any other questions about that before we go on to maybe cucumber?
I think we're ready to rock and roll. Let's do it.
On to the cucumber! Alright, you want me to I can put on my avocado outfit. Tune in next week for more episodes of Avocado Owl. True story. I have a avocado costume / cousin who's an avocado. And so let's do a cucumber. And to do the cucumber, I'm going to demonstrate with our vegetable knife. This is the vegetable cleaver. It's one of my favorites. I don't use it that often. It's kind of a treat when I do, so special occasions, I'll do the damn thing. If your knife is shaped like this, it'll also be good to demonstrate. Let's talk about chef knives for just a second. Y'all about to learn today. All right, here's an education. Now, people ask me, Eric, do I look like a knife guy or what? Can I get a screenshot of that? Yeah. So, a chef knife, the term chef knife is referring to the shape of the blade. So all three of these knives are technically chef knives. There's also a chef knife that's a shorter version of that. This one technically is a chef knife too. Because it has that curvature or that size of the blade and a high knuckle clearance. So a chef knife is any knife effectively that you can chop with, right? So this is a traditional, what we call the French chef knife. This is a 9-inch blade. This is made by Cutco. This is from 1968. It's been refurbished. It's super high quality. Talk about ones that I really only use for special occasions. This one, very, very special. This one is called a vegetable knife, a different type of knife, and then this is the Santoku knife, again, as we talked about. And the difference in how they chop, I'll just say briefly, this is the chef knife that you use for the French chef. Again, focusing that you're going to use the back third of the blade, burying that front end in the tip is nice because it's good for large amounts of vegetables like carrots, celery, food processing, large meal prep, watermelons, big things like that. So you can get a really high clearance with it. So you can dig it into fruits and vegetables too, kind of knock them down. So that's a French chef knife. This, oh my goodness. So this one again, Cutco one. They are also guaranteed forever. So I know I'm a pretty wieldy knife guy. You're like, this guy is throwing knives around. That's true. I do. I'm in fact learning how to juggle knives. True story. Eventually, I'm currently in the process of juggling balls. You're like, look at this guy trying to juggle knives. He can't even hold them. So this one, French chef knife, straight up and down. Santoku knife, we already talked about before. It has that rock and roll on the blade, right? So that rock on the blade, that's better for the smaller fruits and vegetables like a cilantro. When you're doing smaller celery, personally, there's not one that's necessarily better than the other. It's all about what's the right tool for the right job. You know, it's kind of like if you love collecting cars, there's not necessarily one car that's better than the other, or shoes. I know, a lot of you, maybe people watching, it's not there's one pair that's better than the other pair. It's what the mood is, what you're feeling. So knives is no different. This one, the cilantro, basil, herbs, spices for the smaller jobs. It's really like a great food processor. And then the vegetable knife, again, really nice treat. This one much heavier than the other two. It's about probably about a pound of steel altogether. It's nicely weighted, but at the same time it's light, so you can move with it. So I call this the Benihana knife sometimes. It's got that flat bottom on there, so I'll show you how I maneuver with it when it comes to the cucumber. Got a hammerhead too, so you can rock with it as well, because it's got that slight curve on it, that little bit of curve there at the bottom there. But a super high knuckle clearance. So as you'll see with this cucumber, we're gonna chop it up really fast, because, well, not super fast, but fast and careful. This is always a fun trick at the fair. When I would work at the John Mark Fair, you can just chop things off at the end. Keep all later. Anyway, talk about Benihana knife, right? So, cucumber, let's do it. Hot tip that we're going to use on the bell pepper as well, I'll show you right here. Something if you're ever dealing with roly-poly vegetables. Alright, roly-poly vegetables are hard to cut, same thing with the sweet potato, which I'll show you in a second. So one thing you can do if you have a super sharp knife is just, if you want, cut it very small, that's kind of big, small piece of the bottom off of the skin. And what that does is that saves you from rolling, so no more rolling. So it's just nice and easy now. So, I like to, again, right down the middle, do that julienne cut, so straight down the middle of it. Cut it in half, side to side. And then you'll notice that I flipped it around. So the cucumber was like that. I took the piece and I did it like that because they fit together better. And then again, applying pressure here with your hands, but using space. Take that front end, and this one, you can do the same thing and run it backwards through. And it shouldn't stick if you're moving it fast enough and using that slight motion side to side, or not side to side, back and forth, just coming quickly through. Apply that pressure towards the end. And what you got there is cucumber sliced that way. And then I will personally turn my cutting board if you have the room to do it. If not, you can just as easily usually just rotate it. Do whatever you want. We'll turn the cutting board for now. And then now this, I encourage, be careful. Again, be cautious, take your time doing this. I cut each piece of cucumber into 3 individual rows with 2 cuts. If you're new, I recommend maybe just doing 1 cut. I'll demonstrate both. So number 1 I do, put your pressure with the back of the thumb here. Do not cut your thumb off. Do not cut your thumb off. All right, pressure with your thumb, push back, and just pull with the knife. So 1, 2. And then what I've done there is, as you can see, I've made 2 cuts, 1, 2, protecting my thumb. So now it's in 3 different rows. If you're new at it and you're not comfortable with it, just do the first one, push pressure, and just do 1 slice right down the middle. So you can see the difference. So that's the 3 cuts, or the 2 cuts, and that's just the 1 cut. So once you've done that, you basically sliced it. At that point, depending on how nice or how small you want to make it, you can just go from there. Got my extra bowl over here. And then, one of the things I love about this knife, this specific knife, is you can cut straight up and down on the cutting board. And then using your hand to guide, just push things back together. Obviously, just being mindful, do not stick your hand underneath it. And then you can do that big rocky motion too. That's why I like this vegetable knife. The other reason I like this vegetable knife is you can scoop up and you can dump onto another cutting surface or cutting board really easily. So if you want them really small, again, 2 different ways you can do it on here is 1, just straight up and down, right? Up, just straight up and down, keeping the knife parallel with the cutting board. Chop, 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 chop. Or like this. Like, think of those big paper cutters you see in the 3rd grade in the classroom, right? You used to go, you're not allowed to go near. Boom, 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 up and down. Okay, and then, again, with the vegetable knife, you can scoop up so much of it in Benihana style, dump it into another plate or a bowl. So, that's cucumber right there. Pretty simple. Making a little, could just make this all into a salad later. This actually is, I guess it's, anyway. So, yes. Mary Beth, how are you doing?
Okay, let's see here. Well, I cheated because I took the skin off of my cucumbers because I don't care for the skin. So I wasn't able to do that the three-sided slice, but I did get some really good thin cucumber bits that I've never been able to get before. And I'm even plating them as we go so we can have some hummus or some homemade like French onion dip later. And I've got my julienne red pepper here and my cucumbers. Over in another bowl, I'm thinking, this is going to become, the diced celery with the red pepper. We're going to have to think of a dish to make with that. So yeah. I'm doing good. What are we up to next? What are we dicing and slicing next?
Let's do sweet potatoes, and then we'll do kiwis, and then we'll close with your favorite. We'll demonstrate your rock star, the spreader. And remind me, I have a story to tell you about this that I think you'll like. So we did our vegetable knife, which was great. I got some spinach out here too. Another one, just while we're on the topic, so I can remember why I have the spinach out here. And we'll get to our friend, the avocado, in a moment via the sweet potato and the kiwi. Another one with your vegetable knife, just slicing and dicing, mincing spinach. When you want to come and do spinach, is to bunch up your spinach as much as possible. Now, don't squish it super hard, but anyway, you can rock up and out like a giant paper slicer and mince spinach. And so if you're doing a saute or you want to use it for like oh my goodness, not a dressing, what am I thinking? Garnish. Anything of that. That's the same thing with parsley. I don't have any parsley or cilantro on me. It's all in effort to, and I will show you this as well. This is the end game of a lot of what I do here in Cutco Knife Guy headquarters. I don't have a ton of stuff right now, but one of the things I'm always meal prepping is this salad. So this is something I'd be happy to send the recipe to anybody. It's really simple. It's how you just to use these things to chop up with. And I make this about it's good for about 5 days. I call it a dry salad. And I prep, this is just staying healthy. And, I'm happy to help anyone out passionate about health, fitness, wellness. This is just some basic stuff because 1 minute in preparation saves you 2 minutes in execution. So something you can do is mince all this stuff up. In fact, let's not waste food. Don't waste food. So we'll throw a little bit of that spinach in there. All that other stuff is yuck. Is in a bowl with seeds and stuff, but that's so good. So you can mince this up. And why I share that with you too is the other thing that I'm going to be demonstrating right now is our holy knife. And that's to cut our sweet potatoes. That's a dry salad. So what I mean by that is there's nothing in there that it stores good. You can leave it for a couple days. And so things that I make on the side I'm going to show you right now is the sweet potato. And I'm going to show you how I make these by cutting one of these bad boys up. First, I'm going to demonstrate with our holy knife. These are baked sweet potatoes. They're great. You cut them with your vegetable knife or your sentoku knife. So, nice heavy-duty knife like this one. Or we'll go back to the sentoku knife for the sweet potato. And I cook them in the oven just with a little bit of olive oil and some seasoning for about 30 to 45 minutes. Delicious and then nutritious too. And why I want to demonstrate these because they're soft and moist and sticky. So that brings me to our non-stick knife or our holy knife or our cheese knife. So cheese is really great, but it can stick to the blade. And so the holes in this one, I've got a little bit of cheese here and I'll demonstrate as well. Make it so air passes through. So we call it the non-stick knife. So cheese, potatoes, tomatoes, cucumbers. Let me show you what I mean. For example, if I'm chopping with the sentoku knife and I take this piece of sweet potato and I want to run it through, notice how the sweet potato has grabbed onto the side of that. It's because it's moist and on the inside and it forms a suction with the blade. If I take our non-stick knife, our cheese knife, or the holy knife as we call it, you can only use it on Sundays, just kidding. The blade, it stuck a little bit. There we go, it fell off. So, with a bigger one here, show you with the first one. Just falls off. This one will stick. So as it comes to chopping, you can't even knock off the side of it. So it just basically doesn't form as much suction with the blade. And why that's important is if I want to take these sweet potatoes after I make them and I want to chop them up into cubes, which I also substitute these sometimes, like not as a crouton per se, but it's a different, something to change texture in something you can throw into salad or a saute or a pan or something like that. So it's chopping them like this. If you do it with the Santoku knife, they're going to stick side to side. So again, coming back to can you do it with a Santoku knife? Sure. But does every job have a tool? Does every tool have a job? Absolutely. So that is our non-stick knife. Again, demonstrating on cheese. It's a nice easy piece and it doesn't stick at all. So sweet potatoes. That's what we're getting at here. Right. So our friend the sweet potato, and then kiwi, we'll do our paring knife. That's right. So that's again. If you have any questions, I'm happy to send. I'm no Mary Beth Kellee when it comes to my prepping in the kitchen. I'm a simple man, but I'm happy to share my recipes and my knowledge with everybody and help people stay healthy in the kitchen. And so, yes, sweet potatoes are tough, right? They're tough to cut. And so I want to just demonstrate two things with this. One of them we kind of talked about already, which is if you're cutting something, especially something difficult to cut, like a sweet potato, cut the bottom part off of it so it doesn't roll all of the cutting board. So something like this one, and then, so just take a small slice, and it can be just as simple as that.
Totally makes a difference.
Cool. So, take that one, and then the other thing we're going to demonstrate with this is how to anchor it into the cutting board. So getting it nice and sharp, obviously blade, and then taking the front end in there and really using that weight and burying it in and anchoring it down and pushing down to keep those slices even. So sweet potato again, being one of the tough ones, anchor with your left hand. I'm in that same motion, up, over, slide and then feed it through, but straight down. And pushing the weight in the back half of that blade, not in the front half. So using that every point. So again, burying the weight in the front, yes, but pushing with the bottom part down. And as you move down too, so I noticed as well, it's starting to roll on me again. So you can always make that half even just a little bit bigger. If you are making whatever, you can toss that part in. So the flap from the bottom so it doesn't roll all over the place. We cut the ends off here. And this part, this is, small half or small piece, but still good. So I'll cut that so I can get a couple good of it. So 1, 2. So 2 good slices there. So you can make a little stack, a little potato stack. And so that's 4 of them. I typically like to start by going right down the middle. So straight in the middle. And then if you want to go again, 3. And then sometimes they'll fall apart, and then 4. But these are good for, stir fry. You can put it in. If you're barbecuing too, you can put it with whatever you're doing. So now you got nice cube sweet potatoes, all really solid. And then if you want, mince them up even more. That rock and roll knife, right? So what I'm doing there, notice I'm holding it even higher up. You can hold it there, or you can hold it here, depending on whatever you're most comfortable with. But that rocky motion. So rock, 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 rock. And you can do it with one hand. Look, Mom, one hand. Ta-da! So that's sweet potato for the basic part of it. Mary, I still got half of it here. Mary Beth, is that all good? Or you got any questions as we're moving through?
I think we're good. That was my sweet potato.
Mary Beth, do we have any questions? Or are you good?
Oh, can you hear me? I said,
How are we doing?
I think we're good. Let's go to the next veggie.
Wasn't picking you up.
All right. Kiwi. And I just want to demonstrate a pair in that. What's this? Hair in the air. It's as simple as that. So a technique when it comes to paring knives that's important to remember is you're going to move the food around the knife, not the knife around the food. And what I mean by that is a good sharp knife is obviously good enough. You're going to cut the ends off and use the pressure of your hand. So the only hand that's moving is you're going to keep your primary hand buried in one place. The hand that moves is the fruit. So move the fruit or the vegetable around the knife, not the knife around it. So people are afraid because you don't want to pull towards it, and you shouldn't be doing that. Don't pull the knife towards you and use that pressure there. Move the vegetable around the knife. And so I got this kiwi here, and so you notice how I'm just rotating it with my left hand, moving that top part around, moving it with our left, and just moving it around. And so kiwis are easy because it's really, really soft. So it's simple. Take maybe do a piece of potato here. So with the potato, this sweet potato, so it's pretty hard. Use it, keeping in your left hand moving or your right hand solid, and just burying it, and using only your left or your right thumb, your thumb that you're using the knife with as a guide to whatever you're cutting in terms of the skin. You got sweet potato, very tough one to be cutting with a small paring knife. Get the right paring size for the right job too. This one might even be a little bit small for this job. I recommend 4-inch. I don't have that on me right now, but it's all good. This is like the right tool for the right job. Doing a golf club, different golf clubs for a golf green too. So just peel that one around. So just moving the potato around my hand. I'm not actually pulling the knife towards me at all. I am keeping it solid with my right hand. I'm not forcing it, but I'm just moving the potato around with my left hand, and then you can get the skin off completely. So that's how you use it. And so again, show you this part. Keep it at, notice the right hand, again, right hand stays in the same position, left hand just move around the potato any way you want. So then you got cut potato, same thing back to the kiwi. I love kiwi. So happy I have one to eat now. So pull that one all the way around. Kiwi, nice and easy. Fun, obviously. Get it all done. Kiwi, fun fact, just like many fruits and vegetables, very many of their nutritional benefits, the best benefits of them, which I don't know for a kiwi, but I know that most of the vitamins and the nutrients you get from a kiwi, and a potato as well, so think of this as we're talking about peeling and paring things, is from the skin itself. So you don't always have to pare and peel. It's good to do it, obviously, but yeah. So that is the pear and the air knife. And then the grand finale, our lovely spreader. Mary Beth, are you ready for me to tell you this story about the spreader? Do you follow any other questions?
Do you want me to tell my story, or are you going to tell the story?
May not be the same.
Why don't you tell that one, and then why don't you tell yours? And then I'll tell the one that I just heard recently that someone told me yours. I told them that, and they I don't want to say they one-up you, but they did something different based on your story.
You totally do it then. I don't want to tell my story. You go for it. You go for it.
Okay. So, story time with the nice guy for a moment here. Let's time out. This is our Cutco spreader. So this is one Mary Beth and many agents do as a gift, because as it looks like a spreader, which it is, it's extremely sharp though. So it's got Cutco's double D or double durability edge on there. So it's really, really sharp. So again, even though it looks like a spreading knife, which it is, it still cuts, as it just did, very sharp like a spreader. You trust me, you get it. As Mary Beth, you've demonstrated many times. You give these to clients. And so our team specializes in branding. So I've shared this story that you shared with me many times. And then I just heard something else recently. But one of your clients who gives out our spreader, and correct me if I'm wrong on any of this story, but I'm pretty sure I verified all of this, you gave one of these to your client who closed on a house. They were having a couple or a family over for dinner, and the husband said, sweetheart, we have to cut the turkey with our Cutco knife. It's the sharpest knife we have in the kitchen. And the wife, they have other knives around that look like this but aren't this good. And she's like, honey, that's a spreader. But it's super sharp, right? It is really sharp, despite I'm very lax with it right now, and it is very sharp. And they cut the turkey with a knife, and the reason that I know that story, and the reason that's important, is because that story ended with Mary Beth, the real estate agent, being referred to or brought up to that other couple. And that branding story, it stuck with me, and that's such a fantastic example of kind of what our team has been doing and team has been specializing in. I've been really excited about branding, why we've been busier than ever and all that. But someone else told me this, that I called them up the other day. I was sharing one of our resources with them, which is some videos to show people how to use the gifts. And she goes, yeah, do you remember that story you told me about the realtor with the turkey who cut up the sweater? She goes, that was crazy. I told clients, and they told me this story. They said, I'll have to look back at it. I just called it the other day. I can't remember who it was. I have to give her a shout out at some point. I told that story to my clients about them cut up a turkey. They could cut up a turkey with it, with anything with it. And they used it at their tree trimming party, at their Christmas party. And they trimmed their tree with it. And they trimmed their tree with it in front of their whole family. And it ended up being a whole conversation piece about how the cut knife becomes like, oh yeah, it's not just a kitchen knife, it's a Cutco Christmas tree trimming knife. And they made a whole joke about it. And I just thought it was really neat because that's really what our team specializes in. It's not just a knife. I'm a knife guy. Obviously, it's branding and it's experiences and it's bringing people together and it's stuff like that. So I just thought that was interesting. It was completely inspired, though. She name dropped your story in her story because you inspired what I'm trying to say is you inspired a Christmas moment in your Mary Beth. A Christmas miracle happened because of you.
I love that.
What do you think?
I think that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. So are we going to do this little crazy avocado next?
So the avocado, I thought you'd never ask. So, I'm low-ish on avocados. I went to the market today, and because I'm sure we've all had to learn once or twice in life, and now I learned more than ever in our time of experience and change that we can be grateful for every piece of food in the grocery store. But there were not that many super ripe avocados today. So this one I hope is ripe enough. It will be ripe enough to at least demonstrate the basics, and then enough to take me to step 2, in which I do have a ripe avocado from earlier this morning that I'm very glad that I saved half of. But yeah, so avocados, one of my favorites. That's God's fruit. Yes, we live in California, avocado country, and our spreader is also been known as the legendary avocado knife because it's super flexible and it's extremely thin. So if you compare it to, say, one of those knives right there, it's got a really, really thin blade on there. So it fits in between that skin and the meat of an avocado really nicely. So depending on how experienced you are, you can use 2 knives to cut the avocado. When I say that, I'm referring to taking the seed out of the blade. You can either take it out using your chef knife, which I recommend if you're less experienced. You can use and then the other way is using your spreader, which I would recommend highly holding it up here because it is really flimsy if you are going to take it out. But easier and simple way, if you already have your chef knife out, it's already dirty, use that, pop it open really quickly. But the way you're going to do it, if you are going to use just your spreader, is right the avocado, right down that middle. And again, you take that and just almost right. We'll see if it fits when it come around. So boom, real simple all the way around. Remember, push it all the way through to the core, to the center, to the pit, so you can feel it all the way through. And then you should just twist it apart. Let's see. Yep, just there we go. Isn't that beautiful? Avocados, love it. It just makes me smile. Let's see if this one will cooperate. Then we can eat it. Yeah. So this is a perfect example. So this one fits right in there. So it's got a thin skin on there, thin blade on there. And your avocado knife should just fit right on there. This one again, this one just a little underripe. So we will maybe abandon ship, but it just might make it. Almost, and kind of peeled off. Yeah, a little bit hard. Oh, it's perfect. It's perfect. Isn't that cool? So yeah, perfect avocado right there. And I have my salsa out here, so fun snack, fun healthy snack. I don't know if anyone does this again. Shows I'm a very simple man. Just take some salsa and inside the shell, you can keep it inside the shell even, a little bit of sea salt, and you can put a little sauce in it. It's a little bowl. And you can eat the avocado out of the bowl the bowl itself is avocado. So look at that. And so you gotta pop that other seed out there to show you just safety wise. If you are gonna use your spreader, hold the obvious cup of your avocado carefully. Be careful when you're doing this, as close as you can. You don't go like this, and then sink it in the middle, and then twist. So sink it and twist. So you sink it in the middle, give it a twist. It might take 1 or 2 tries. There we go. Twist, and it pull right out. Using a chef knife will be easier. It will twist out better. You also have a little bit more accuracy probably to hit the middle. But this one, again, to demonstrate, you just take that in the not sharp side. This is extremely sharp. That's the one you can use to cut a turkey or a Christmas tree, apparently. And then this. Dead. Inside. Boom. Take the whole thing out. You can even use this one's not just an avocado knife. It's all obviously a spreader. So it scoops, it spreads, it cuts. So cakes, pies, casseroles, lasagna. And that's obviously all things that people are out and using when they're serving and stuff too. So that's why I love the spreader. Peanut butter, jelly, mustard, mayo, anything like that. I even use it as a mixer sometimes because it holds the side of a bowl really, really well. So that's the avocado, and then you can use it when it's on the board. Best way to cut an avocado while we're on the topic, in my opinion, I'd like to use the same idea. Is that quartering idea, and you can cut it 3 dimensions. So you can cut it straight down. So cut it into strips. And I've got these 4 strips of it there, and then obviously the other way, 3, 4, and then if it doesn't fall down, just a nice sharp knife can still maintain that shape. You can go across the middle, then you cut it into 2 different rows. And avocado, you get saved. You don't get thrown in the trash pile. So never throw away avocado. That's just wrong. Never throw away any food if it's still edible. Oh boy, what a day. What a day of chopping it up and I was going around here. So let's just recap. And then I want to answer any questions Mary Beth might have that we can thank for chopping it up with the Cutco man. So let's rewind here and recap. We remember our Santoku knife. That's our main. That's kind of your rock star of the kitchen. I see Mary Beth using yours a ton. You're the rock. Aside from Mary Beth's not your rock star. Philip's there. When Philip's not there, this is your rock star. So this one, it rocks. Remember, it rocks on the cutting board. Up and down. And then you can glide backwards to Julian those things up. You can use that for like celery, cucumbers, carrots, sweet potatoes, anything like that. Also substituting for that, you got your bigger bad boy knife, your vegetable type knife, or your French chef knife. Remember, because those are all chef knives. And what do we learn about chef knives? Eric's going to learn to juggling one day. That's what we learned. That's a true story. Look out for that come 2022. Maybe a little early if they keep us locked in here. So the chef knife, is that all things are chef knives as long as they have that big knuckle clearance. Our non-stick knife or our holy knife has the holes in it so things don't stick to the blade. Air, potatoes, cheese, tomatoes. It has a micro double D edge. So that's our smaller, double durability edge. The same one that's on the spreader and all of our utility knives. Our super shears, a good pair of scissors. Everybody needs them. Saves you time, money, energy. Gets you in and out of the kitchen a lot faster. So our scissors come apart, easy cleaning. They come in red. Where's it on here? I have to show you my red ones. They're somewhere. I got some red stuff in the other room. Red, white, black handles, all those different ones. And then paring knife. Remember, hair in the air. Paring, you're going to use it on the top of the cutting board, or off the cutting board in your hand. Try to avoid using smaller knives on the cutting board. That's how you avoid getting broken tips. Because sometimes people get the tips of the knives broken off. It happens. With Cutco, they're all guaranteed forever. So that's a nice thing about them. Again, being American made. If everyone needs any products, of course, keep in touch with me, Mary Beth. We can find a way to get you some. How are we doing over there?
We are doing really well. I think we can wrap it up, and I want to be able to thank you for everything you've done today. You've taught me how to slice, dice. That sweet potato thing I'm going to have to work on. That is definitely a little bit of a challenge, but I think with practice, and I like pear in the air. That is, and I like the whole, you know, like that rocking thing, you know, in the figure eight thing was super helpful to me. So really awesome, Eric. You did such a great job. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. Yeah, exactly. The figure eight, the pair in the air. Those are simple things to remember, and just start practicing. That's all the thing I encourage. Now, commonly people are always saying that, oh, it's so hard. I can't, you know, oh, I don't know how I can do that. I don't know how you chop so fast. Just like anything that you start doing in life, you get good at in life. Eventually, you start doing it slowly, start doing it gradually, and you start doing it to the simple steps. So yeah, think pair in the air, that figure eight motion, and that gliding motion, the rock and roll. Remember those simple things. And of course, if anyone has any questions, please feel free to reach out, and I will be happy to. I'll be happy to chop it up as well. And you stay safe, stay healthy, stay humble, stay grateful, and stay sharp.
Thank you, Eric. That was so cool. I'm gonna just leave you on. You can exit if you want to, but I can't get to the computer. But wasn't that cool? Oh my God. So I love my knives, and I just never knew how to use them. So I think I learned some good tips. I hope you guys learned some good tips. I know that there's a couple serrated knives that I have that Eric will have to give me some tips on, and steak knives that we love. So I've got all these goodies right here, and I'm super excited I'm going to use the air fryer and put olive oil on these. I'm going to actually just end that. Oh, he did. Okay, perfect. I'm going to put these in the air fryer with some olive oil, cayenne pepper, salt and pepper, and see how that comes out. Philip and I are going to have an appetizer tonight because it's what's cooking tonight. Okay, so Philip drove down to Mitch's Seafood today, and we have black cod in miso. I don't know if you can see it, but it's already ready to rock and roll, and it even has the collar in it. So that's what this is. This is a collar, which will go in the oven at 400 degrees and be this delicious, yummy black cod. It's like butter. And they also have mushroom risotto already ready for us. Some extra seasoning for this beautiful grilled asparagus. Look at this. So again, support small businesses, help out as much as you can. You know what is happening with all of our fishermen. They're still fishing. The fish are still in the ocean, and the restaurants are all not open as many. So we need to buy the fish. Gives us a little instructions. So this is miso black cod, sesame asparagus, and mushroom brown rice, and it serves 2. Oh my word, I think we have dinner for 4. Who can come over? We need other people here because we got 2 of them, and we also sent one over next door to our neighbor. So the oven's at 450, not 400. And you just slide the pans into the oven and cook 8 to 10 minutes. Heat the mushroom brown rice in the microwave or the stovetop, and then serve with a sesame miso sauce dribbled over the top or on the side. So we have that, and then, okay, the other thing we have, I know that I made those crackers yesterday and they were a big party foul, but they taste really good, they just don't look very good. So these are the keto crackers from last night that Philip and I both like. And then look what our neighbor Jan made. So we have beautiful homemade lemon squares, and these lemons are fresh off the tree right next door. So it's what's cooking, and I'm super excited. I'm really grateful that Eric was here today to help us dice and slice. And for somebody who is extroverted, and he is too, it's really cool to be able to like virtually cook together, even though we're not in the same room. And there's ways for people who are feeling isolated to have that same experience. So remember to stay physically distant while staying socially connected virtually. And also remember to always reach out and touch somebody you love. Thanks again. And don't forget, Thursday, we have Jay Rodriguez, Emmy Award winning actor from Queer Eye for a Straight Guy. Jay Rodriguez is going to be on. He was the star Broadway show Rent. He played Angel. He sings, he acts, he sings. He probably dances too. And I think we might get him to share a few cool things that are coming up in his career that are very exciting about Queer Eye for a Straight Guy. So see you guys. Thank you.